So we begin inshallah with the tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha once again. So we're on the ayah of the Quran, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. So Imam al-Qurtubi rahmatullahi alayhi says that the words Ihdina or guide us are words that indicate a supplication. These are words that indicate a supplication. So here, it's in this last paragraph. So they indicate dua. So when we say Ihdina, we're making dua to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And this is a dua that's implying that we're disclosing or we're showing to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala something that we desire. Right? And we desire that from Allah. We desire guidance from Allah. And its meaning is direct us to that path which is straight and guide us on it. Show us the path and allow us to stay on it. Show us your guidance which will lead us to intimacy with you and nearness to you. In this case, this is one of the most, if we take this ayah, as Imam Qurtubi saying that this ayah is, this part of the ayah is dua. This is one of the most intimate parts of Surah Al-Fatiha we can see. Because we're asking Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to be close to Him, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Some scholars say that Allah made this surah a model for our supplication. That's something that is noted by a lot of the ulama. If you think about it, Surah Al-Fatiha begins with Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Aside from the issue of the Basmalah, Basmalah is to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Some of the ulama, they say it's part of Al-Fatiha, and some say that it's not part of Al-Fatiha, but it should be recited, whether silently or out loud, and that has its own rules to it. But in any event, the first thing that we start off with is praising Allah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And then we reminded of who Allah is, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. After we praise Allah and we remember who Allah is, then we ask Allah. Now we're asking Allah after that. Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. So we're not asking from Allah first, but we praise Allah first and we remember who Allah is, and then we ask Allah. And so some of the scholars have showed that this is to have respect or adab or good manners with Allah. Not just to go present yourself to Allah and just start asking, but to praise Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala and to remember who Allah is. Half of Surah Al-Fatiha comprises of praising Allah, and half comprises of presenting our needs to Allah. And so that's the model for dua, that we praise Allah and that we present our needs. The supplication which is in the surah is the best which one can use for supplication, because these are words spoken by Rabbul Alameen or by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So this supplication or this dua is in the Quran and it's part of the Surah Al-Fatiha itself. But it's a dua, it's a supplication, it's a prayer that's given to us by Allah Himself Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. When you use it, you make supplication using His words which He spoke. In a hadith we find there's nothing Allah considers more noble than dua. Right? That dua has a special place as an act of ibadah. It's a little different than salah. In that dua, salah consists of a lot of different forms of ibadah. Is ibadah of the tongue, ibadah of the heart, ibadah of the body, because you're moving, you're using your body. It consists of praising Allah, remembering Allah, making istighfar. It consists of testifying who Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is. But dua in the sense of outside of the salah is considered a very high act of ibadah. Primarily because in the dua we're showing our neediness before Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And because dua is part of Surah Al-Fatiha, so this is one of the things we say, that dua is something that's very noble, very good as an act of ibadah. So there's also dua is part of Surah Al-Fatiha. And so by this token, Al-Fatiha is the most noble of the noble and among the best things it is possible for the human being to say. It is said that it means guide us to follow the sunnah in performing all the obligations that we owe you. It is said that the root of the word guide is inclination towards something that can be seen in the words of Allah wa Ta'ala. We have truly turned to you, right? Meaning we have inclined toward you. Another meaning here that can be derived from the word is that derived from the surah itself is that the word hadiyah or gift, which is so called because it moves from one owner to the other. So it's a gift that's given to us, right? It's a gift that's given to us, and it allows us to understand how to approach Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, but at the same time, it's not just an issue of approaching Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for the sake of praise, it's also learning how to approach Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for the sake of seeking guidance. Those are nice things to reflect upon, because that's a different type of reflection. We have some reflections in Islam which deal with just rights between human beings. We have some reflections in Islam which deal with the issues of Jannah. Some reflections will deal with the issues of Jahannam. Some deal with the issues of how to be kind, and there's different types of reflections in Islam. But this type of reflection is just about our relationship with Allah. That's